Hey everybody, Steven here, and for today's video I'm going to show you some different stances that you can use on the leg press here and why that's beneficial and the difference with that, say, between this and just a freestanding squat, whether I'm doing the freestanding one or a barbell or anything standing is going to be different. And the reason for that is that this actually gives me a different plane to move in. So if I'm standing, right, and I have my feet upright, I can only go here. Now I could stagger my feet, but my feet would be staggered. But I can only go on this axis here, right? If I go here, I can go not only wide with my feet, but I can bring my feet up and down, which I'm not gonna do unless I'm holding on to something. Like I'm gonna have to use something else if I'm gonna do it standing, right? Can't really do that with a barbell on my back, okay? So with that, I like to explain this just like if we're looking at, I always think of like algebra when we had to use our TI-83s, but we have an X and a Y axis here. So I can bring my feet higher and not just wider, right? And that change is shifting where you're actually feeling this on the muscles, okay? So when we do standing, I can do my feet close together, right? Which is gonna hit more my lateralis and my medialis here, so the outside of my leg, and the inside sweep or teardrop if you're a bodybuilder here. And I can get them pretty close, right? I can go to a neutral stance, and then anything wider than shoulder width, right? At that point, I'm gonna start to tilt my toes out a little bit versus keeping them straight like I just had them. And then I can go all the way to like a sumo stance. All of that applies here. The thing that I can change though is I can bring my feet higher or lower. With that, the higher they go, the more I'm gonna feel my hamstrings. The lower this goes, the more I'm gonna feel my quad, okay? With our stance this way, told you closed stance, lateralis, outside of the leg, medialis here. Overall, just overall legs, the wider I go, the more it's gonna go to the inside of my adductor here, my hamstring glute tie-in, and my hamstrings and my hips. So it's essentially going from the outside, swooping all the way to the inside here. So I can take that and apply that. And now I can add that different axis to this so I can layer on a little bit more. For most of my clients, I have them bring their feet a little bit higher because most people are quad dominant, right? They're already using a lot of the quad here. And I'll do a video showcasing you how you can actually test whether or not your quad is turned on all the time. And for most people it is. But they're using this all the time versus using this very powerful hamstring. They're not using the hips, they're not using the glutes for sure. And I mean that in a general sense. Of course you're using those muscles, it's just your quad is more dominant than it should be versus the posterior side of the body, the back side of the body. So I have my clients go higher with their feet. So let's run through these stances again, okay? I can go closed stance, medialis, lateralis, right? Keeping the knees neutral. So I'm not trying to pull them out, but I'm also not letting them go valgus, which is buckle. So in, out, right? With this, you'll notice that you can't go quite as low because your knees are gonna fold into your stomach and your chest, okay? I can go overall, right? Just hitting legs overall. And then I can go wider, right? This platform isn't big enough to go crazy sumo, so this is just a wider kind of stance, where at this point I am gonna hit a little bit more of the adductor, still kind of general legs with a little bit more emphasis on glutes, hips, hamstrings. So I stretch, making sure the knees stay out, so I'm not trying to buckle them, down and out, okay? So with this, the thing that I can change, if I wanted to do more quad dominant, you would see my legs come lower. And now you're gonna see more bend, right? You're gonna get more flexion out of the knee. It also requires more ankle mobility. For a lot of people, they just don't have that, and they already need more hamstring hip work, so that's why I usually will have them go higher. So this way, right, feet higher, more hamstring. This way, we're gonna get more quad, right? Now I'm hitting more here. And you can feel the difference. With that though, you may feel more knee because of that, okay? Because as I'm going here and I'm under load and there's more flexion in the knee under load, and my ankle isn't mobile enough to get this good bend, that femur is shooting forward and putting more pressure on the kneecap, okay? So be mindful of that. And I can placate just towards the middle here, right? Just nice overall. So lower quad, middle, overall, higher hamstring glutes. And we can get high, right? You'll see people go here, right? A lot more emphasis on here. So you can play around with that. Hopefully that helps. A lot of people just don't understand the difference, which is why I'm making the video. I didn't actually do it here because I was showcasing everything. The handles are here for a reason. When you grab, make sure you pull your butt down into the seat, right? And I load the shoulders back. So the whole back side of the body is engaged. It makes for a more powerful movement and a more stable movement, which just for you guys means that we're less likely to hurt ourselves, right? There is no such thing as necessarily like injury prevention. We're trying to do injury like mitigation. We're trying to make sure that we don't potentially have an injury, but you can't 100% prevent an injury. So this will help with making sure we reduce the chances of anything happening. So that is it. Hopefully that helps anybody out with wondering what the different stances are that you can take with this. Then you can get creative with that, right? I'll do a separate video showcasing how to do some different variations on a single leg press, and then utilizing the bands and some of the stuff that I do with that on the leg press as well. So hopefully that helps. If you guys like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Going to be rolling more of these videos out, trying to keep them a little bit shorter, but just talking about the different things that I do here with my clients and the different things that I try to make sure that they really truly understand. If I'm doing my job well, I'm trying to train people out of needing me, right? So I'm trying to train myself out of almost having a job here. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check back soon for more videos.